So basically, so this is just we're just gonna have a conversation. Can you hear me?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I can. There's
Good.
a little
Good.
bit of an echo, like you're on speaker or something, but I can hear you fine.
Yeah. Yeah. I got you on speaker. It's the best way I can record. If
That's
you,
fine.
if you don't mind. So I mean,
No problem.
I'm not gonna use your last name or anything like that, Tony. But could just give us a brief background of who you are and what you're about.
So I am a corporate lawyer. I practice in the areas of general corporate law, finance, mergers and acquisitions, commercial contracts, and private capital markets,
Wow.
mostly in the middle market oil and gas community.
Wow.
I went to Texas A&M University for undergrad, which is in College Station, Texas.
Aggie.
Uh, yes, sir. And University of Houston Law Center for law school. And I got a master's in tax at Georgetown University.
Wow. Well, you're well
So I have a lot of letters.
Yeah.
A lot of letters after my name.
It must suck to sign your signature.
Yeah, I just signed my name, and over time my signature's gotten messier and messier because I don't want to write it all out.
Right? Yeah, I feel you, man. I feel you.
But it's good. And I've been practicing for more years than I care to remember, but I'm pretty good at what I do. And I was on law review, a senior articles editor in law review when I was in law school, and one of my focuses in law school and after, just in my kind of a hobby part of practicing law, is constitutional law. I've published articles on various aspects of con law and tax law, which sources in the Constitution. So I'm no expert from top to bottom, and of course everybody's entitled to their opinion,
sure,
and so forth. But I feel I have a pretty strong understanding of the Constitution and the legal system in the United States.
that man, that's amazing, dude. That's amazing. Wow. So let's touch on the tax aspect of things. I know,
Sure.
and folks, if you're listening to this, we Tony and I've been communicating on TikTok. That's how we bumped heads, and this is a podcast for TikTokers. And as Tony could probably express, there's been a slew of things that we've talked about and listened to and looked at on TikTok. One of those things is a flat tax rate for Americans. How do you feel about that, dude?
A flat tax, like any taxation system, could be implemented. It would just have to be, I hate to overgeneralize, but have to implement it in the right way. So if you had a flat tax, let's just say, we still throw a number out there, let's say it was 10% or 15%, there are going to be people who are going to object because they still want some sort of deductions. So then the question would be, if we have some sort of deduction system, what would it be? Would it be a flat amount, such as what we have now for, a family, or some sort of family plus dependent flat deduction? Or do you get itemized deductions for contributing to charity and otherwise? And I think that would be the biggest debate, is especially by the people who reduce the amount of tax they have to pay by taking advantage of the deductions that are available right now.
Yeah. So we would have to rewrite.
There would probably be a lot of econometrics and modeling would have to be done to determine what amount of tax in real dollars would have to be paid by each level of the marginal tax bracket. So if you're a 29% or 35% payer, how much would you pay at the end of the day versus someone who's in the 10 or 15% right now?
Yeah, good point. Wow. Yeah.
I mean, a good example is, and I'm not knocking this person, but Bernie Sanders advocated for a flat tax, and it would be 50% of everything you made over $30,000. So, and the reason I mentioned you'd have to model how the tax rates would affect taxpayers is, for the lower end taxpayers, people making $30,000 or $40,000, 50% above $30,000 might be more than they're paying right now.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. I'm not sure why Bernie campaigned on that, because that will really hurt the poor folks more than anything else. It seems like.
And the policy justifications for the graduated tax brackets were that the people who make more can afford to pay more. Nobody who makes more wants to hear that,
right?
But it doesn't mean it's not true. Yeah. So that's the idea behind the regressive tax system, is that the people who can make more, or progressive, excuse me, the people who can make more can pay more. And I think that kind of folds into the more modern approach to the United States government, which is kind of the Great Society. Whether it's worked in practice over theory is another debate, but the idea that we need to help the people that are less fortunate in general. So the people that make less pay less percentage-wise, and the people that make more pay more percentage-wise.
Yeah, so that would be interesting to see how the Congress, I'm assuming, because it would be up to Congress to get this going. How they would. Right. How they would take those take the excess from the upper echelon taxpayers and filter that through the rest of society. That would be very interesting to see. Interesting. Yeah.
Yes, now, and all bills for sourcing revenue and spending originate in the House Ways and Means Committee. Of course, the Senate has their Finance Committee to go through and reach an agreement in both houses about the ultimate bill that's presented to the president, but it starts with the House of Representatives. And there's been, at times, other proposals have come up, like this flat tax has also been proposed in a flat consumption tax. So we go to a national sales tax. So you only pay tax on what you spend. So if you don't want to pay tax and you have whatever you need, you don't go out and spend money. But I think the people who are opposed to that sort of system feel as though it would be adverse to the economy, because people who do want to pay tax would be more likely just not to spend money than to put money into the economy to stimulate it.
Interesting. So I wonder if you could have that system and a UBI.
You probably could.
That might promote spending a little more. Maybe.
Again, that's all. Yeah. It's all modeling.
Right.
It would be. I mean, I can only imagine what these econometrics guys go through to model every detail.
You're making my head hurt.
300 million people.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Yeah, that'd be crazy.
And how do you predict the spending habits of someone who makes $1 million a year versus someone who makes $25,000 a year?
Right. Yeah. Man. Yeah, I see. That's why I didn't go the tax legal route. Nah.
Well, you have to invest, and since you touched on education, I mean, these days you don't have to have a college degree to be successful.
That's true.
There are certain employment areas in which you have to have a license, such as architecture, accounting, law, medicine, engineering. And if you want to go to one of those areas, you have to go through the college and grad school process to get the specialized degree to be able to sit for the certification at the state level to be licensed to practice in that area.
Right.
Otherwise, I would. A friend of mine's son just graduated from high school, and he was interested in welding. And I said, you should do that, because I think 20 years from now, as a welder, you're probably going to be making significantly more money and have more assets than most of your friends.
Absolutely.
Who went to college and got a philosophy degree or sociology degree and didn't know what to do with it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm all for trade, man.
That's I agree. There's a huge shortage.
Hell yeah. Even electricians, even during this whole tech boom, electricians are at a short here. I mean, it's amazing. And
right.
We're not going to have technology without electricity.
Plumbing, HVAC,
yeah.
all of those folks.
I'll do HVAC.
Carpenters, masonry.
God, it's amazing. It really is. And folks, if there's a need, people are willing to be paying more for it. Just look at the trends, folks. Get in there. So Tony,
it's basic supply and demand. If there's a shortage of something, people will pay more for it.
Precisely. So Tony, I know initially we spoke about during this conversation and going into the Electoral College.
Sure.
So I mean, there's people out there, and I'm one of those folks. I'm kind of like, do we really need the Electoral College? What it is now since the 15th Amendment? And I mean, there's obviously there's an opposing side to that view. Since you're entrenched in law like you are, man, give me an idea on how you feel about the Electoral College, and maybe play a devil's advocate afterwards.
Me play devil's advocate, so argue in favor of it not being needed any longer.
Well, give us your point of view first and foremost, how you feel about the Electoral College, and then we'll just do devil's advocate to how you feel.
Go from there. Yeah, we can. Yeah. That's what we do anyway as lawyers. So, an advocate.
There you go.
As you're an advocate as well. You may not be licensed to practice law, but you're an advocate, and that's your channel is largely about advocacy. You not any one side or another, but I've noticed that's one of the reasons I follow your page, if you will, and comment on your posts is that you're more neutral. Obviously, everybody has their opinions and their positions that they want to take.
Sure.
But you seem to be more objective than most people who just say everything's right or everything's wrong based on if I'm blue or red.
Yeah, I appreciate
which I think is ridiculous.
It is.
Which feeds into the Electoral College discussion.
Ninja warriors, the powers they hold are legendary.